Hi, I'm April Gareb, and I'm doing an introductory speech. I want to tell y'all a little bit more about myself through some things that are important to me in my life. Have you ever noticed whenever you go somewhere like Walmart or, buy low, when you look in other people's buggies, you can tell a lot about people through what's in their buggy and what they're buying. Maybe that's just me, but a lot of times I look and see kind of just out of curiosity what, some people have in their buggies. What I want to do today is I brought a buggy, and if you were looking into what would be considered my buggy of life and the things that are important to me, I've got several things that you'll normally find if you were to take a peek into mine. One thing that's important to me is plants. This was the only one that I had that I actually kept alive, so I decided to bring that in. I love plants. I love gardens. I love any kind of greenery. Haven't really quite made it into keeping them living, but I love them. So I've been trying my hand at planning for a couple years now. Another thing that I've always liked is music. It's always been a big part of my life because I know whenever I was younger, my mom and dad were always listening to music. When people come over for any kind of get-togethers, there was music. I like pretty much any type of music, from country to, I guess you would say, soul to Christian. So music is a really big part of my life as well. I enjoy it. Books, I love to read. You'll always find me wanting a good book. This is a devotional, and that kind of covers, I love reading novels. I love reading devotionals. I love reading the Bible. Any type of literature or books I really enjoy. The past year and a half, I went back to school. A lot more reading than I've been used to. So I'm glad that I do like reading because it helps me whenever it comes to doing homework and writing papers and stuff like that. It's a good thing to be interested in. Another thing that you'll always find that I have interest in is photography. My cousin actually made this book. It's a book full of two things that could not fit in my cart, of course, that are really important in my life is family as well as my children. This was a photography book made with my kids, but any kind of pictures, photos, I love. I've got boxes and boxes of photos that yet to go into a book, but that is one of my hobbies. I love photography as well. And my love of cooking. I brought a cookbook, and I've been cooking probably since I was about 10 or 11 years old. I can remember my mom working first shift, and my dad was working third shift, so he would be sleeping, and me and my brother, we would just be in there making pancakes. And from the time that we were able to see it over the stove, and that love for cooking, and I remember my grandmother's always cooking for us. My great-grandmother, I always have a memory of her when she would be over there making biscuits or something in the kitchen, and we would always try to sneak up and put our finger in the butter bowl and taste the butter, and she would always snap at us and say, "No, is your hands clean? Get your hands out of the butter bowl." But my love of cooking, I try to cook at every occasion that I can for families, for get-togethers. So I'm trying to pass the love of cooking on to my children as well. And last but not least, coffee will always be found in my shopping cart. And I love Starbucks coffee, but any coffee will do. You'll always find a pot of coffee on at my house, just as like I always remember growing up, and there was always a pot of coffee at my grandmother's house anytime you walked in the door. Morning, noon, night, she had a pot of coffee there waiting on you. So my love of coffee has yet to leave me, and those were some of the most important things that, if this was the buggy of my life, should you ever walk by me to take a peek to see the things that were important to me, that was some of the things that you would see. So after seeing all that, I hope that that kind of gives you a little glimpse of maybe who I am and the type of person I am, and thank you for coming.